Hi, I'm Beth from Sew Country, and today is day one of the Sage Satchel Sew Along from Lanyos. I'm going to have a link to the pattern for this bag and also a link to the Facebook group where this sew along is taking place. So, whenever we do this, the main thing I want you to remember is follow along with your pattern. If there is any discrepancies between me and the pattern is always right. Just remember that the pattern goes through various levels of testing, whereas my video just has me editing and watching it once, so I can definitely make a mistake. For day one, our task will be to have everything cut, interface stabilized, have everything prepped. I'm going to go through the parts, pieces, and everything so you can have your materials ready to sew tomorrow. The first thing you do after you buy the pattern is I highly suggest you print out your cutting sheet. Now this cutting sheet will look a little intimidating because there's 3 pages to it. But that's just because of the way she breaks down the way you cut this pattern. For example, let's jump right in to the first thing. Piece number 3 is your front pocket with pleats. Now I have this part hidden because this has information about measurements and things that I don't want to show for integrity of the pattern. So whenever we have the front pocket with the pleats, she tells us the materials we can use will be our cork or accent fabric. You can choose. You don't have to do this bag in cork, vinyl. You can do it in any material you want. But she has it broke down by either cork or accent fabric here in this section. Then your next section, she says this really needs to be a raw edge material, a cork or a vinyl. Then down below that, she has your accent fabric. The next page, she has your lining. Let's choose your body front and back. You'll cut it with your cork, but you're also going to cut one with your lining, with your interfacing, and then even over here with your foam. So you can see that body front and back shows up several places in this cut list, and that's just the way she had it broke down. She could have had body front and back and said cork, lining, interfacing, and foam, and you would just have one line for all those. The way she's done this is that she says, hey, pull out your cork material, cut out all these pieces, then you can neatly roll it up and put it aside, and that's how it's organized. So don't be overwhelmed by the cut list. It's not a lot of pieces to cut. Once you see them, you'll understand that better. So I'm going to show you the pieces, and then I'm also going to show you where they're going to go on the bag so that you can kind of help figure out what colors you want to use and what materials you want to use. The first thing we have is our front pocket with pleats. That is this piece right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and tell you that there is a lining piece. I did try to separate them most of the time, but this one I still have clipped together. So this is your front pocket. You'll have one for your cork or accent and one for your lining. On the pattern piece, there will be the darts that we will show you how to work with those later. But for right now, know that you will have an exterior and lining in the way, whichever materials you choose. Let me show you where this front pocket will be on the bag. This is going to be your front pocket. Okay, so you see there's the exterior, and then if you open it up, there's your lining. The flap will cover it, but it will be something you see directly upon looking at the bag. Okay, that is the front pocket piece. Now let's go on to our D-ring tabs. I chose to cut mine out of vinyl. There is a pattern piece for this. You do need 2. The D-rings are going to go right here on your side of your back, on the side of your gusset. So one on each side. We're going to attach a 1-inch D-ring to it. I did choose to put some rivets in mine. That is optional. But it is going to be what holds your crossbody or shoulder strap to your bag. The next piece we're going to talk about is our outer gusset. Very long. It's going to go around the entire portion of the bag, and she does let you know that this is longer than you need it to be, just so you can make sure you get that perfect fit, and you'll trim off the top. On the bag, you can see it's going to go all the way around. And I'm sorry if my camera angle is not perfect. It's hard to know exactly where everything's going to be and to get it in, but the gusset is just like any other gusset and go around the entire portion of the bag. Okay, now we're on to the body, front, and back. For my body, front, and back, I'm choosing to use a vinyl. Since I'm using a vinyl, or if you use a cork, you do not need to interface this with a lightweight like a SF101. You don't need to do that. I am still going to attach foam to this. I just have not done it yet. But I will attach foam for some more stability. You can choose. If you do not want to use foam, you can use a Decaville Light. Or if you feel like, you can see right here, my vinyl is a little bit softer, so I wouldn't feel comfortable not putting a stabilizer with this. But if you feel like your cork or your vinyl is a stiffer one, you wouldn't have to add anything to it, depending on what kind of structure or how thick it is. It's your choice. There is some flexibility there. So this is your body, front and back. I'll show you the lining for that in just a little bit. But let's look at where the body, front, and back will be on our bag. When we look at our front, we'll lift up our flap. This is the body front. Mine is cork on this one. And then when we flip it over, we see it entirely on the back. Okay, so now we are in the cork raw edge material section. So we did the body, front, and back. Now we're going to look at our zipper overlays and a couple other pieces. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I am not going to be sewing a strap. I choose to use webbing. I could change my mind, but I typically just use webbing, and that is what I'm planning. So there are other tutorials that show you how to make her strap with this pattern, but with me, I won't be showing that. So let's look at our, this is piece 6 and pieces 11. For our zipper overlay, this goes inside our bag. You can cut out 1 or 2. If you cut out 2, that means you're going to have 1. Let me just show you so it's easier to understand. When we open our bag, we have one of our zipper overlays right here. I am just going to be showing you how to install one because it's going to be the same method for both. You can put it on the front and the back of the bag. I did not do that on this one, and I'm not going to do it in the other one. So if you want to put it on both sides, cut out 2 zipper overlays. If you just want to do 1, of course, cut out 1. The next thing we're going to look at is our A and B. She calls them decor straps. It's just decorations, real. It's just to give a little bit of a feature to the front flap, so it has a little more design to it. So it is just 4 long strips. Now you can simply cut each one out individually, or if you wanted to, you could cut out 2 and then glue them down and cut the other 2 around, because this is going to be, here is your 2 pieces sewn together. You can see that they're sewn together, wrong sides together. Your edges are left raw. In the pattern, she gives you rivet placement. I chose to just put my rivets down low here, and then she also has another design feature here where you can use either a D-ring, a rectangle ring, or even like a, one of those little, I don't know what they're called, but the metal hardware that just closes at the end. I don't know what it's called, strap ends maybe. But it is a design feature. It doesn't serve any like benefit to the bag as far as structure goes, but you can see it just adds a unique look. If you didn't have these, the flap might look a little plain. Of course, if you want to use like a panel or something really intricate here, you may not want these there. That's fine, leave them off. It's not necessary to the bag. Okay, so that is the cork or vinyl raw edge pieces. Now we're going to go into the next section, which is our accent fabrics. This is a lot of the inside of the bag and our flap. So let's look at these pieces. So the first one is, it is a piece number 2, and this is our divider zip pocket. So I'm just using a cotton woven, and I use a lightweight interfacing. You can use a SF101, SF101, or what other equivalent you want to use on that. If you used a waterproof canvas, you wouldn't need any interfacing at all. But let me show you where this will be on the bag. This is going to be the exterior of your divider pocket there in the middle. So, and then we're going to have, of course, in a few minutes, I'm going to show you the lining that will be inside there. Okay, so that is your piece number 2 divider zip pocket. Now we're on to our flap. Of course, we know where that's going to be. I've just been showing it to you. But you will need, okay, let me change that back. You can choose what you want your flap to be. I'm going to use 2 different pieces. I'm going to use a vinyl flap this time, and I'm going to use a lining cotton woven. So if you look at mine, what you're going to end up seeing is mine's going to be like this. If you want it to be a different design, like if you want them contrasting, make sure you keep that in mind when you're cutting it out. But I wanted this, I'm actually going to put rivets up here to kind of dress it up a little bit, but I wanted this unique look. So for this, the flap, this is your exterior. These are your decorative strips, and then when you flip it up, that will be, let me pull that down. That will be your lining. And so you'll want to make sure you're careful with the placement if you have directional fabric to make sure it is oriented correctly. Okay, now we're on, let me get these out of the way, my flaps. Okay, inside we do have a slip pocket. I am just using this blue material, nothing fancy there. I'm using a cotton woven. I do have it interfaced. And if we flip over, the slip pocket is right here. Okay, that's your slip pocket. You can have one on both sides if you want, or you can just have it on one side. For the purpose of this video, I'm only going to be showing you how to do one side completely, but just know that you can repeat it exactly over there. If you're going to repeat it, make sure you cut out 2 slip pocket pieces. Okay, the next thing we're going to be looking at is our key holder strap. I did my last one in a webbing, so you're just going to use this and it'll just be inside your, hanging in the bag, so you can pull it out to get your keys off of it. Okay, so that is that. You can choose whatever fabric you want, or webbing even, like I did. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is zipper tabs. Where are my zipper tabs? Well, I seem to have misplaced them. I might see them in a minute, but anyway, it's just your basic zipper tabs, and they're just going to go right here on the divider zipper. Okay, there's another piece for the strap. Again, I'm not doing that, so if you want to cut out the strap, just follow the instructions to cut out all the pieces and have your strap that way. Okay, now we're into the lining pieces. So I showed you the body front and back. Of course, you're going to have a lining body front and back, so that's those 2 pieces. The lining body front and back is what you'll be attaching your interior zipper, your slip pocket, and it'll be on both the front and the back of the bag. So you can choose to have your front body and back different than your divider zipper, or you can have it all the same. You know, it'll depend on what style you're looking for, and also it's going to depend on how much fabric you have. After that, we need our interior gusset. So we remember that the exterior gusset I'm using, mine is that blue vinyl, very long piece, kind of wide. For our interior gusset, you're going to want to use a cotton woven. You could use a waterproof canvas if your machine could handle it. Mine couldn't handle all those layers. So I'm using a cotton woven, and you're going to have two. The reason why you're having two, just so I can kind of go ahead and get you to understand that so you'll know what it's going to look like, is because you're going to attach one interior gusset to the body back and one side of your dividing pocket, and then your other interior gusset is going to attach your front to the other side of the interior gusset. So you can see that interior gusset right here, it comes together, but it's really two pieces there in the middle. So that will be your interior gusset. And is that my last piece? Oh, my zipper pocket lining. So just, oh, there's my tabs. I knew they were here somewhere, zipper tabs. Okay, and just so your interior zipper lining pockets, whatever you want to use for that. If you are doing like me and just doing one interior zipper pocket, you just need two pieces. If you're doing it on both sides of your body, front and back, you will need 4 pieces. I am not choosing to interface these. I just typically don't interface my zipper lining pockets. But everything else that is a cotton woven, I will interface with a lightweight interfacing. That's pretty much what the pattern says. You can look this next to the last page here. All your lightweight interfacing is telling you to do that. She's telling you to interface everything pretty much that's cotton woven. Okay? The last thing she tells us to do is foam. Like I was saying, I'm pretty positive I'm using foam on this one. I didn't use foam on my last one. I used Decaville Light, and I think I want to use foam on this one, see how that goes. So you will want to cut foam for your body, front and back, so that'll be 2 pieces there. You will want to cut 1 piece of foam for your flap. Then you'll want to cut 1 piece for your outer gusset. So total 4 pieces of foam if you choose to use that. The reasons you wouldn't want to use foam is if you, 1, choose to use Decaville Light, you just want that different feel, or 2, if you have a say you're doing a bag with a stiffer vinyl and a waterproof canvas interior, you would not want to use foam. That would be enough structure in your bag. So if you have any questions about the foam, the interfacing, the cut list, definitely let me know. Ask questions in the group. That's what this sew along is about, for us to do it together, kind of help inspire and motivate each other so we can help along. But these pieces, this will be the hardest part, probably the longest day, I should say. This will be the longest day. Day 1's always going to be hard because of all the cutting and interfacing you're going to do. So take your time. This video is going to stay up, so if you don't get everything done or if you get behind, the videos will stay on the YouTube channel for you to watch whenever you want. But after you get your pieces cut and interfaced, post a picture in the Facebook group event under my link for this video. If you are concerned or don't know where, just ask me and I will direct you or tag you and where you need to post it. We will be having a giveaway with this sew along, and so the requirements to enter the giveaway is to post a picture under each of my video links. This sew along's probably going to go 5 days, and then we'll have 2 makeup days, and the winner will be drawn on Sunday. But what we want to do is just show our progress as we go. If you have any questions or concerns, or if I made a mistake and there's a discrepancy, let me know, ask me about it, and we will work through it. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 2 when we can finally get started sewing. We're going to be working on the interior tomorrow. Thank you so much.